Today I'm going to be doing a video regarding my comic art collection. Specifically, another video about an ongoing jam piece I have. The last one I did was about my two-piece Spider-Man Allies versus Villains jam. And this one is going to be a one-pager, and it is based on the Jim Lee Batman family piece that you see now. This was a fold-out cover during the Hush storyline, and I really like almost everyone in here. This is kind of the way I like the Bat family drawn. And although I'm not crazy about the way Commissioner Gordon is portrayed, his face is I'm going to move the camera a little bit. His face is a little odd to me. The glasses, I think, throw me off, as well as the hat. It's more of a it almost looks like a bowler, but not quite a bowler hat. And I don't really like the redo on the Huntress costume. You know, practically speaking, if I'm going to be a costume crime fighter, I'm going to try to show as little skin as possible, because those are the things that get scratched and cut. But I understand it's a comic book, and you're appealing to a certain base instinct on the males that are reading. But so what I've done is I had my what I consider my go-to guys, the Frame Brothers, base the jam off of this art here. And I've had them transfer that onto my large 11 by 17 comic board. And then I'm having each one filled in. And I'm going to take a quick break and switch them out. Okay, I'm back. And what you see here is the current state of the jam, where I have completed Batman, and that was done by Graham Nolan, who was a very good Batman artist in the early to mid 90s. He's still active, but he does some independent stuff. I've got Superman by the Death of Superman artist Dan Jurgens. I say the Death of Superman artist, but that's probably his most famous issue or arc. But he's done so much stuff on more than just Superman. But a lot of times when you say Dan Jurgens, you're thinking about, the guy who killed Superman, so to speak. I also have Nightwing by Scott McDaniel, who was the artist on the Nightwing series when it started. Part of my strategy on this particular jam is to get people who are known to do the characters in which I'm having them draw. I am not knocking independent artists. I am not knocking lesser known artists, because all of these guys at some point were lesser known artists. But for this particular jam, I am trying to get artists that are associated specifically with the characters. I was fortunate enough to be able to help out at the Connecticut Comic-Con at the Mohegan Sun this year, just a few weeks ago. And my help was in the form of airport transportation. I picked up Graham Nolan one day, and I picked up Dan Jurgens one day. Drove him to the casino, helped him get set up. So I had time to talk to him about the jam and show him to him. And they looked at it, and they decided that they'd help me out and help contribute to it. And that's why I have a Graham Nolan Batman and a Dan Jurgens Superman. The Scott McDaniel Nightwing I got at the Pittsburgh show earlier or late last year, so it would have been like September, so about a year ago. And at that same show, I actually had the Frame Brothers do the layout. They were there at the show as well, so it was kind of like a perfect storm, because sure, a lot of people can draw Nightwing. It's a matter of a costume and a face, but I wanted a guy who was associated with Nightwing, and Scott McDaniel had a long run on Nightwing. By the way, Scott McDaniel's a tremendous guy. Not to say that Graham Nolan and Dan Jurgens aren't. I had enjoyed my time with him in the car, and I even had dinner with Dan Jurgens. I brought him back to the hotel. But they also I can show the way a jam piece evolves. If I show you the way it is here, I have Catwoman is a main player on this piece. She's right on top of this little outcropping of the ledge. And I didn't want her there. I also didn't want Hush here because it's a Batman Family Jam, it's not a Hush jam. And I've already stated my issues with the Commissioner Gordon. So what I had them do is I had them move Catwoman, and the Catwoman character. I'm going to take the phone out of the clip now to move it around. The Catwoman character's all the way over here. You can see her penciled here. More of a background relationship to the rest because she kind of in and out of the Batman family. I took the hat off Commissioner Gordon and I changed the ledge a little bit here so that it's an open ledge, because for me, part of the Oracle character is the wheelchair, and here the wheelchair is hidden. So when we take the ledge out and just have the corners or the stumps, you get the wheelchair. And so those are the things that I asked them to change, and they did a great job. I've got Robin over here in the corner, right next to Batman, where he belongs, and I've got the blimp, and I've got to find somebody to do the rest of the background. I'd actually love for the Frames to do it, but I kind of wanted to get the characters all set up just in case something changed. And I've got the bat signal over here, and that's ready to get finished off along with the rest of. You can see the buildings. There's some the buildings here and some background buildings here. These are all things that I thought would be better finished after the characters are in their place, because every once in a while, an artist will kind of change the flow of, say, the cape, even though the cape here is just the way it's supposed to be. But these guys, they have a vision all their own, and they may decide to change the way it is. Scott McDaniel decided to change Nightwing. You can see here Nightwing is standing and he is spinning one of his sticks, one of his bows, one of his nunchucks, whatever he uses, I'm sorry. And here he is just holding and then standing up over the thing. And I remember as he was doing it, he said, "Hey, do you mind if I change it a little?" Because the ledge had not yet been inked in. And I said, "No, whatever you want to do. I mean, you're the Nightwing guy." And so he changed the stance of Nightwing, and he kind of worked this post in here. And then he said, I prefer a non-spinning action for the nunchuck. I love the spin, but I'm not going to argue with the guy. I mean, it's his character in my mind, and I'm going to let him do what he wants. And so, and I love the look. It's a much more dynamic look. And then after he finished, I actually went back to the Frames and had them ink up the rest of the ledge, because that's where I wanted it now. That's the only changes I could have envisioned. And I was really happy with the way it came out. So this is the current state of my jam, my Batman Family Jam. And I hope the rest of it turns out as good as the stuff that is already completed. Currently, my plans would be for Tom Grummett on Robin, And the rest of them, I don't have. I mean, I'd love to get like a Greg Land on Oracle or Huntress. I'd love to get Jim Balint on Catwoman, but I don't know how those guys are going to work out. But to get Graham Nolan and Dan Jurgens and Scott McDaniel on these three of the main figures on this piece, for me, is a huge win. So that's where I'm at. I'll do another one probably in a couple of weeks. I got a couple more ongoing jams, and I have a Batman head jam that really came out great. It's framed up. I'll pop it out of the frame so the glass doesn't catch too much light. But please comment, ask me questions if you have to. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.